It's been a while since I've been at the craft desk. Been a strange couple of months, but I wanted to talk about something near and dear to my heart, and that is board games and box design. So Steampunk Rally by Orrin Bishop is one of my favorite games. Absolute madness, ton of fun to play, very inventive mechanics. My problem is that the game has a big issue with box design, and that is that they use the, let's just call it the ditch method. They just give you sort of this little hole to throw stuff in, and it's bad. And I don't like it. And their solution, I mean, it's cost effective for them, and it's, to be fair, they do more than what a lot of board games do, which is they actually give you some graphics and they make it look nice, and you got your logo in there. It's not terrible, could be better though. And for that reason, I wanted to make this little video because something else just recently arrived at my house, which I backed on Kickstarter months ago. And I'm just gonna kind of throw this all back in there for now. We'll return to that in a moment. Boop. And that is, here we go, making a big old mess. Just get this situated again. In fact, it's been a while since I've busted this out. The old playmat. Got this at Gen Con for $3 due to their cool little coupon book that they do every year. And hopefully we'll do this year when Gen Con returns and I get to go back to Gen Con. Because, yeah, still got a badge for that. So we're going to consider this a little unboxing because I've been very excited about this. This is the long-awaited sequel to Steampunk Rally, and I have not opened this yet. But one of the things that made me quickly want to back it, just get this plastic off here, was the redesigned box, which they specifically stated was built, just throw this in here, a little side garbage can, which was made there to house both games. There we go. Got your token sheets, starting line, all your racers there. Marie Marvint, Amelia Earhart, Alan Turing, Auguste Picard. A lot of good ones. Oh, one of the things that actually did come with this, which I haven't peered through yet, let me do that really quick. All of these are extra little bonuses, which include all of the promos that they gave away at previous conventions and events, which include a lot of really fun racers, like Doc Brown. Get myself situated. And Red Green, the duct tape master himself. So that's neat. Each of them have their own special, not Leonardo da Vinci, they've got their own special parts. And that's one of the gimmicks of the games. Each of the racers have their own sort of theme and their own, is it Doc Brown? Or Doc Braun. They have their own theme and their own little special thing. Rube Goldberg, Dr. Goldberg, having his own elaborately designed, oh wow, I hadn't really fully looked at that, allowing you to just design this absolutely absurd series of connections. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So yeah, that's all the promos. Got your token sheet there. All of your racetrack pieces, which are double-sided, super cool. For the promo video, they talked about racing on Mars and also racing in the past in this sort of Mayan Aztec temple area. That's neat. All these rulebook, which seems to be about as thick as the previous version. Now, this is more of just a concern on my part, because one of the things that could happen with Steampunk Rally, and they didn't suggest trying to fix it, was that you could run out of dice, meaning everybody is using every kind of dice, or they're all called for in some way, meaning you could run into a situation where you need to generate red dice, steam power, or rather firepower, because it's yeah. In fact, if you look here, they tell you got heat dice, steam dice, and electricity dice, and now the new fusion dice, which are weird D6s. In fact, let's see them here. They're a little bit larger. They've got 9, 6, 5, 4, 8, and 7 on them. Was that 6 digits? I don't remember. Yeah. So they're a little bit odd. I have yet to see the mechanics on that. But yeah, got all your tiles, all your dice. So I'm wondering if they suggest combining both pools of dice, because whether running out of dice is supposed to be part of the mechanics or not. But I will have to give this a proper read through later. There's a few rules that I always forget whenever I play this and bring it to the table, but it's really not that hard of a game to learn, despite seeming kind of obscenely complicated at times. But yeah, so one of the things I needed to do, and I'm wondering how this is going to work. How are you supposed to fit everything in here? There's all of your damage counters. It's for tracking life. I could probably just... Yeah, so those are supposed to go in there like that. Also notice they went with a nice sort of teal blue plastic instead of just plain black vacuform plastic, so that's a nice touch. But yeah, we'll just get these all situated. Now the nice thing about this is that you can set up the racetrack several different ways, and when you combine them with both tile sets, I imagine that you could probably spice things up a little bit more. But yeah, that's got like the finger holds in there, and you got a little space for everything. It also comes with actual metal markers for the cogs, which is a nice touch. I'm guessing all of your dice are supposed to go in there. And you've got, yeah, got your different kinds of cards. And that'll probably actually split up a little bit more. And then character markers and other gizmos. Probably just empty those in there. I might make a little divider to split these up, because as is the problem with a lot of board games that have pretty drastic expansions like this, you end up with a lot of new cards that are sort of objectively better in most ways than the old cards. They usually have more interesting mechanics, or they have more desirable effects, and sort of having the old cards in that parts pool tends to dilute things. So it might be one of those things where maybe every once in a while you try running the game with both sets combined together. And I mean, with a big box like this, it's easy enough to just keep them together instead of having to then go and split them up and separate them back out into multiple piles. But I have yet to play, so just see all the different racers. The time travel theme this time around gives them even more of a sort of crazy pool stuff to pick from. Not that, you know, time period really stopped them before, because a lot of the inventors and scientists and engineers they picked for the previous game weren't exactly living at the same time or working together either. I gotta give them credit, the way they arrange these in the box. They do just kind of sit in there perfectly. And now this game is supposed to seat up to 8 players. With 8 players, the concern there is that you can run out of cards really quickly because it's a drafting game where each round you are passing around stacks of cards. And with 8 players, that is 8 stacks of 8 cards. So the decks go through, well, decks get used up very quickly. You can just sort of see. So this is sort of what I'm talking about. Like, this is a new mechanic where you get a number of dice, rather the sort of amount that you have to put in to get a motion and armor is based on the number of parts in your invention. So very early on, cards like that seem like they'd be really useful. That seems to be a pretty consistent thing. There's also some new mechanics I'm not familiar with yet. A lot of basic stuff. But, yep, fusion dice, which uses, oh, yeah, that uses a little bit of everything, and then you get a fusion die out of it. That seems pretty neat. But yeah, there's some new stuff going on here, and I am eager to see what that is. We'll put those all in their own section. Yep. And then these are all of the, I forget what they're called. Not invention cards, but actually these seem to be something new. These look like they're traps. If you set them on a specific space. If an inventor is on this artifact zone, all inventors on the next zone gain 2 damage. Okay. I'm gonna have to read up on that. We'll slide that to its own section. Now, all of these cards are separated into what used to be like power-up cards, gold cards, silver cards, and I believe bronze, copper cards. Oop, doesn't want to open. And that's because when you set up the draft, I may have explained it wrong because it's supposed to be like one of each card. So yeah, it would be 8 stacks of 4 in a full game. So yeah. Event phase only. Some new mechanics in there. The fusion reactor. And what's interesting, the way the game's set up is you've actually got these little sort of connector pieces, and you're actually like laying down cards and connecting edge to edge. And the sort of gimmick there is that certain pieces can only connect in certain ways, and you have to have at least one valid connection. So there's a little bit of strategy and planning, but also being able to sort of customize and reconfigure your vehicle as you need. Oh, and now we are on to, yeah, these are inventor cards here. Make sure I didn't get any others in there. And just notice the fusion cards have a little atomic symbol there. So, yeah, you just take that and drop those in there. Alan Turing, Amelia Earhart, Andrei Sakharov. There we go. I can't do languages. Yeah, during the Kickstarter, they were doing a lot of talk about what inventors to bring in, which one people want to see most, sort of teasing the different stuff they were going to be adding in. But yeah, when you pick an inventor, you get their 2 cards as a starting thing, and you get to set them up however you want. So you do have sort of a like a strategy set out for you, where it's you know, wanting to sort of play to the strengths of the vehicle that you start with, and you have to always keep that cockpit. But the nice thing about that is those cockpit parts usually have a power to them, which is once per round you can give yourself, say, extra cogs for more money to spend, or just straight up more heat dice. So that's neat. Then I can probably take those and add them to And here's some of the other promo cards who... Damn. Ignacy Lukowitz has a whole-ass oil platform. Zhang Lian and Lady Huang having a giant mechanical bowl. So, you got some neat stuff in there. But here, slide those in with the rest. Then these larger cards, oh, that's nothing. Larger cards will have to find a special place for those in the box. These, yeah. These are now the copper grade cards. Just might be better if I do them sideways, huh? When you sell a drafted card, oh, now they got effects that happen during the other rounds. Ooh. So this doesn't seem too crazy to the point where I would feel bad about like diluting the pool, because there's still some very good cards in the base set. And I would definitely still want those sort of in the mix, because I think you would maybe get some unexpected, really nice synergy with them. And one of the things that's really enjoyable about this game is the ability to, in other games they call it building a machine, sort of getting an engine going, where you have sort of this card feeds into this card, which feeds into this card, which attaches to, like, that's literally what you're supposed to be doing in this game. You're supposed to build a machine, or rather pick out parts for your machine that naturally, ooh, these are something new too. But you're supposed to pick out parts that naturally help and aid the sort of strategy that you've started building. And that can be both building off the inventor that you've started with, or getting just a nice set of things going when you have, you know, parts that naturally work nicely together. So we'll take all those. And here. Do this. That. And there's one more. Yeah, we've got these boost cards, and then we've got secret project cards, which seem to be worth some extra points, and something I will get a better feel for once I've actually read more of these. Let me see, what do I have on hand that would make a decent separator? Because there's your standard boost cards. Those are sort of play them whenever you can, and they give you different little power-ups, or allow you to steal parts or push other racers back. Or you can just sell them for additional dice and cards. So, lots of cool stuff to pick from. And then those are how to play cards. So those can go in there. I would probably want these. Nope. There's a Pachakuri. Put those in with erasers. A lot of fusion stuff going on with him. He's sort of I think he's sort of set up as the villain in the storyline that exists here, but I mean, it's all racing for fun, right? The box design is very nice. Unfortunately, this game just comes with a lot of stuff that needs a lot of its own space. So yeah, I think I'm just going to make some dividers and see about squeezing everything in here. Okay. So after a little bit of wrangling, I have now fit in both instruction booklets. Got all of my promo guys who have their own special abilities there. Got all of the original tiles, and this apparently is supposed to fit in there. Has a nice little slot for it. Got all my tiles. I've put the metal cogs in there for now. That's also got all of my health markers. For the time being, I'm only going to leave 8 in the box because I cannot fit any more. Cogs from both sets, cog tokens, are now in there, so you got twice as many. Took all of the little character markers, rubber banding them up. That's the base set. It's the new set. There are all the stands you're ever going to need. The dice I'm going to keep in the bags for now, just because that's a little bit easier. And I've got the little terrain markers from the first set in there. And then I have all of my inspiration tokens, which is, yet again, more than you're ever going to need for even an 8-player game. And so now we've got our fusion set, our base set, and all the way down. Got all of the boost cards for the base set, the new boost cards, the projects, the other stuff in there, and then all of the racers. Got, I don't know if I even want to have them in here, but they're nice just to have around in case, because they don't have all of the symbols on them, but the main one to watch out for is causing damage to other inventions. But the rest of these have all of the steps you need to know for playing the game. So that is all your how to play cards. Got these little plastic dividers that I made out of some leftover signage from when I worked at GameStop, like a plastic card kind of thing. And yeah, I think that about covers everything. The only stuff that is staying in the old box, let's pull that out here. Leaving the dice in there, and I'm leaving the life counters in there, and some of the bags just in case. I mean, it's not like I was going to throw out the box anyways, but if I need them, if somehow I get a more than 8-player game going, I would probably pull out the dice. But I think for now, it's fine just leaving those in there, and I don't need another 108 dice added to this box, which is already brimming with stuff. I think even if I were to take all of these out of the bags and try to settle them in there flat, I still wouldn't be able to fit. Because that's, I forget how many of those there are, but yeah, that's well over 200 dice. And you can see where one of my cats already decided to help herself to the plastic. So, that about covers that. This was mostly just an excuse to make sure my camera setup was still working and try to, you can sort of see it here, if I scoot it around. This camera normally has a fisheye distortion on it, and I'm attempting to use a shader filter to fix that, and it seems to work pretty nicely, but at the very least, I put off video editing and making stuff for a while, so this was a convenient excuse to break everything out again. So, hope you found it remotely interesting, and if not, I will get back to working on that Tachikoma video that I promise I will actually do at some point for all, 2 of my fans. So, till then, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.